Yeah, Terry Rogers, welcome. I think you are new to my world.
Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning. And Robin, hello, which I don't know if we call you Robin all the time, but Terry Rogers, there we go. So, you are okay. We are up and running there. Okay, we are ready for the overcoming your distractors. Okay, it's now officially being live streamed, officially being recorded. I can't wait for the day when I have somebody else helping me with all of this. How does it get any better than that? And the last thing is I'm going to uh, mute you guys also. You can unmute and muted. There we go. Okay, well, welcome everybody. Like I said, my name is Lynnae, and I wanted to do a just little introduction. What city, what state are you joining us from? So put that into the chat, and that way we can get to know each other, know what's going on in our lives. And you are in the right place if you are here for living beyond your distractions. And if you made it to the class, would you please pat yourself, yay, and say, wow, these are the Terry Rogers from LA. This is some of the distractions I'm going to talk about, but I'm also going to take a deeper dive into the work that I do, the energetic distractors that are underneath the distractors. So all of it, you're going to walk away with some goodness and some goodies from that. But you got through the big distractor of the energetics of, did you put it on your calendar? Did you create the space for it? And I'll go more into that in a little bit, like when we can't remember dates or where things are at and so forth. We actually haven't created the space for it. So, what else I'd like to know as we get started here is in the comments, would you let us know what you do? Who do I have on this call? And for all the people that will be watching it on replay, kind of an idea, are you an entrepreneur? Do you work for somebody? Are you retired? Give a plug out for whatever businesses that you do. We'd love to know. Get some energy of sisterhood going on here. Robin down there is an entrepreneur, Dara, health and wealth coach. And let me press that little record. Okay, keep them coming so I know what else is going on. All righty. How many of you, Terry Rogers, CEO of Breaking Stigmas, treatment operations nonprofit organization, so glad to have you here. Sandy, an entrepreneur, and Nana to two granddaughters. We know what personality style you are. Brooke, entrepreneur, health and wellness practice, and a solar broker. Okay, I love it. If you have worked with me before, would it be okay if you would put in the comments, yes, I know her, yes, so forth, so that the other 30 people that are joining that I don't know will actually know that I am legit. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, but not today. We'll get to that tomorrow because there's a lot of stuff I do want to cover. So once we do that, Sandy's known me for years. Karen's an entrepreneur. Robin, yes, we did have a great session. I will invite you all to, I do like 30-minute clarity growth sessions. And it kind of gives me an opportunity. You may want this after this call or any time you haven't or aren't working with me to kind of tap in as an intuitive transformational business and life coach. I facilitate change. So even in 30 minutes when you're new, I can help you tap into where those blind spots are and where those distractors are. So self-published American's Game, Girl Bridging the Gaps. Love that book. Love it. Don't know that book, but we'll check into that. Our Journey of Love, Mental Health, and Overcoming Stigma. Barnes and Noble. Thank you, Terry, for sharing that. Okay, so let me go ahead. Thank you. Share my little screen and let's get rolling. And you know how you set everything up and then it's not there when you go there? Don't you love that? It's right there. It is. Okay. Well, I'm excited because this is like my first webinar. And it's not even, I didn't even do the webinar the right. But as if you don't know me or you do know me, I have been working with a brand new coach and kind of just taking the directions, because if you want change in your life, I have found that follow what those ahead of us have done and then recreate it. So we're going to do it kind of this style instead of full open class where I can still see all of you, but that we're focused on here. So let me change this screen and there we go. All right, so we are here for everybody who can join live. We will be here today, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for 60 minutes. And again, all these will be sent to you in a recording, so you can either listen to them again, or for our replayer people who can't be live, which I totally understand, right in the middle of the day, you'll be getting those in a couple hours. All righty. So we already did this, introduce ourselves. I appreciate that. And like I said, I was going to tell you a little bit more about myself later on, but just so you know a little bit, I have been in transformational work for 34 years. I have been self-employed my entire life. So everything that I am talking about is everything that I've experienced, everything I've taught and shared about and lived. And I think that's important when we've actually walked through it and are actually using the tools that we're talking about in our daily life. So what we're going to learn over the next 4 days, can everybody see my screen good? Cool. Okay. Is where the heck is my energy going? Where is my energy going? Can give me 1 second, ladies, really quick, because I do want to see my chat board. There we go. Okay. Skid Row survivor Terry. Okay. Oh, Terry, we've got to connect a little bit more. Hold on 1 second, ladies. Let me just get my chat board up here so that I can see that. And I can see all of you. I'm in business now. There was a lot of screens open here. Okay, there we go. So what I'm going to share with you, some of you who have worked with me, you know some of the work, some of, like the ideas of how we look at things energetically. And I'm going to share my 4-step process for your success. Okay. Learn how to become aligned with the life you know is possible, but you haven't been able to get there. That's one of the things that I've learned over the years of coaching. Prior to this, I was with Mary Kay Cosmetics for over 20 years as a director. So I've worked with lots of women who have wanted to have more, who have wanted to create businesses. But one of the things we may not tap into today is how important it is that when you're creating something, you're creating it from the space and the energy of who you are. Otherwise, you will be distracted. Okay. So we'll talk a little bit about that, because I know all of you, if you're here, you want something more. You want to create something more. You want to have something more. You want to expand what it is that you have. But it is easy to get trapped into doing it the way someone else is doing it, which isn't in alignment with you. Not that you can't take some of that, but for you to figure out a 4-step process for your own success. I will chat 1 second about success. Your points of view, our points of view create our reality. So for 1 minute, you're new to me, I want you to, and everybody else, success. What is success for you? So one of the things we're going to do over the next 4 days is also looking at what is your point of view for you? Okay, because if you have a point of view of what success is, like if I look at a top high level, very exposed out there coach as my point of view of what success is, like I haven't acknowledged that, but maybe success for me is to help 10 women. So while we're going through this, I want you to take a look and start to become aware of what is success for you, because we get trapped in that. And then that becomes a distractor because we're trying to be something that actually isn't something that we desire. All righty. Anything? Please throw up some feedback. Anything, if you have any questions with that, let me know. So you're ready to identify some of your distractors. All righty. So, before we go on, I wanted to make sure that you guys know that I will be offering a offer into my 6-week course where we're going to dive deeper into all of this that we go over in the next 4 days. So I just didn't want you to be surprised. And you'll have a sneak preview at that tomorrow. Okay. So there we go. Many of you on here have done 6 weeks privates with me, 6 months, a year. So, alrighty. We are going to be exploring your energy, your emotions, your frequency, and how these become your deeper pesky distractors. I'm going to refer to a couple different, I'm going to say distractions, and then I'm going to say distractors, and then I'm also going to refer to energetic distractors. And they're really all 3 things, but I'm going to use it as kind of an umbrella. But if you hear me saying that, they're going to mean something different that we're going to talk about. So we're going to tap into that. And then over the next few days, also identifying where you are on autopilot. And that will be tomorrow. So you want to make sure where we're literally going to go through a little test as well. And where we are on autopilot, okay, is where we are constantly being distracted because we haven't even acknowledged that we're just on auto. Okay. Down on the bottom right here, I said, when we have energy leaks present, our energy is scattered. It is much easier to pull us off course. Sometimes we leak energy, but we don't even know where the leaks are. And that's what I want you all to walk away with, if anything, is where are you leaking? And I know it's a funny word, but if you literally take that into your space and go, here I am, and where am I at? And where am I going? And what's happening? What's a priority? What's not a priority? And those are the distractions we're going to start to become aware of so that we can overcome them, we can heal them, and do whatever it is that we need to do. Okay, so we're going to do a vibe check. You guys ready for a little test? Let me move this over here. We're going to take just on a little piece of paper and just have you guys put your numbers down. I'm going to have you check a little bit of your energy. I'm not going into any of the all of the subtle energies and all of that, but the basic of, let's take a quick inventory of your spaces and leaking of energy, which is distracting you from doing what you desire. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest vibe, and I'll describe what I'm talking about, where would you rank these? So number 1, and then you guys are going to let me know what numbers you're getting in regards to living space. Okay. Now, again, this may not have been the distractors you were looking for, because these are going to be beyond the ones, what did I write down? What are the normal distractors that we have? Internet, our phones, multitasking, those kind of distractions. We're looking at what's underneath that, which is also causing the distraction of why you're choosing to be on social media more when you haven't set your priorities right. So number 1, living space. What that looks like for me, and I start throwing in your numbers from 1 to 10. A living space for a high vibe 10 for me would be, when you come into wherever it is that you're living, whether it's a room, a home, or something, when you walk in and you immediately feel like you're home, you're safe, you're comfortable, that would be like the high vibe I'm looking for. When you come home and your living space is like a 1, 2, 3, or 4, and you walk in and you're like, there's the energy of chaos. There's the energy of things that you immediately walk into, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I need to do that. And you walk in that door, and the first thing, Sandy's a one, and that's because she's moving all over the place. But thank you for sharing that. And that's important because if you are focused on wanting to create something in your business and life and you're leaking, what I also want us to walk away with also is allowance. We're going to talk more about allowance tomorrow, that while we're doing this today, not judging yourself. That's what I want you to learn, is even if your spaces are all at a one and you're not vibing where you want to be, can you be aware enough? Okay, that's my number one. That's my 4 A's to success. And that's what we're looking at, is awareness. When we're aware, we are conscious. Okay, so living spaces. Terry's at a 4. Awesome. Again, there's no right, there's no wrong. But even if this is all you listened to today and you went, wow, my vibe check, energy check in these spaces, what if I was able to tweak them a little bit? That would actually create less of a distractor for me. There we go. And in the flows, in a 10, Brooke is a 6, Diane's a 4. Okay, so awesome. So what else can you create in that living space? And again, I'm not going to go into, I studied for a long time feng shui. I love the energy of how things flow. And we're not going to do that, but that sometimes the basic things can change everything. I have a client who I was working with who one of her distractors in her house, in her living space, was her fireplace. She would walk in every day and see her fireplace, and she hated it. She hated what it represented. She hated the contractors who built it. So every time she walked into her home, she immediately, energy went to that fireplace. And I know that may not seem like a lot, but it drains you. And then you wonder why you're not doing what it is that you desire to be doing. So it could be as simple as that. And she actually fixed it. She got a new fireplace, and we laughed about it for a long time. Okay, workspace. All righty, Brooke has got a 6. And then Terry's all doctor's office. It's all right. The recordings will be here for you. Workspace. Okay, this is important. There is no right or wrong workspace. But do you have one? What is it creating for you? When you sit down, the top distractors, like social media and all of those basic things. But what is your workspace? I worked with a girl very long ago, mother of 4, not you, Brooke, with 4, mother of 4 with a husband, and she had a job. And I asked her, this is back in Mary Kay days, I asked her, tell me about the space in which you work. And she didn't have a space. She had a little spot on a kitchen table. Now, I always have to ask people what it is that they have, because never assume, because you don't know. But she wanted to build her business. She wanted to have more. So what does your workspace? We got her set up with a coffee table. What do you call those? A TV tray in the corner of a bedroom, which had a lot of chaos around it. But at least when we talked, she had a little space to have her phone and so forth. So you may have this big grand room set up for you, but are you leaking in any of those places? Okay, so storage spaces, not going to go into that too much, but take an evaluation. Do you have, all that, just all of that. What I want you to be aware of this rest of the day is when you're in your home and you're doing something and you watch your attention go to places, you're leaking. And what I want you to do is not leak. I want you to be all here to the best of your consciousness. Okay. So Sandy's got a 3 on, I think we're on storage spaces. Let's move on to 4, which is your car. Okay. You're all like, this isn't what I thought we were going to talk about today, but it is important. Okay. These are when people say, I want clarity in my life. I want to know what to do. Especially when people come to me for business, people will say, are you a life coach or a business coach? Well, they're both the same. If your life is all vibing at a 1 and you want your business at a 10, it's just going to be so hard and so difficult. So what if you got everything like in a nice 5? And then we started to allow the business to grow. So where's your car? Car's got a 9 and a 10 and a 7. And I can tear up a car. I was in mine this weekend and it looked like I had lived in it and I had literally only been in it for a day. I don't know what happens, but everything just explodes. But I know that when I was in sales, which I'm not, it all exists here nowadays. I always was clear that I cleaned it the next day so that I started a fresh new thing. It's like that fresh new piece of paper. Okay, let's get into the ones that I really want to dive into. Your physical body. How is your body? Take a deep breath, just even right now. When you're asking, how do I stop getting distracted? What's going on with your body? Are you even aware that you have a body? Some of us don't even know that we have one. For a very long time, I just ran this body and it followed until it just kept dropping. And it was like, we need some attention. Okay, cool. I love the numbers. Let me make sure I'm on here. Okay, great. So physical body. What else? So let me see here. Physical body. What else can I talk about with that and distractions? I might have, are you, any of you here, ADHers, ADH, that kind of thing, like I have? Do you have, you're compulsive? You are a creative? You're a multi-passionate. I didn't even know what a multi-passionate was until a year ago. Well, I'm a multi-passionate. Most of you are. It's literally where like you are in everything and you love expansion and you love growth and you want more. The name of my business is called Growth Junkie Coaching. I'm a junkie to the extreme. So this is a subject that I've had to really learn how to work with my body so I can reduce the distractions and have that more centered, calm way of connecting with my life and my business. Okay. So if you're any of those, do I have any of those people here with me? Any multi-passionates? Okay. Put in the comments too. That just helps, just because sometimes I can't see your face. Okay. Next, our mind and our thoughts. Okay, where are your numbers at? Share, share, share. So mindset. Some of us are really good at mindset work, like really good. Like you have been brought up in years of great leadership, great courses, great learning. Like you know how to do what's required and how to pivot your brain to get you to the next step. Okay. So mind, thoughts. Okay. What I want you to look at right now is mind and then your thoughts. How do I want you guys to do this? Mindset means like bounce back ability, right? Like where you know that you've got to do something, but you make it happen. You know how to do that. Like you've got that down. I probably haven't described mindset the way I wanted to. But the other part I want to look at is we're going to dive more into it. And a lot of you already know this with me, is your thoughts. And if you're new, grab this number in your awareness. 98% of your thoughts, your feelings, and your emotions don't belong to you. 98% of them, give or take. Okay, so you're asking who the hells are they anyway? Well, that's one of the things we're going to dive into more is whose reality are you functioning from? Because you may say, I'm so distracted. I can't get this done. I can't make this happen. I can't. When in reality, if we actually look at what it is, this distraction, it might be something that you think you should be doing. And when you start to ask and become aware, is this even mine that I think I should, my thoughts, I think I should be doing? is that actually going to create something for me? Or is it what somebody else did, which I think I'm supposed to do, or my mother or somebody said that I was supposed to do? And if I do that, then I'll have all this. 98% of those thoughts aren't ours. And then we start to become aware and conscious and start to ask, whose is this? What do I do with it? Okay, bounce back and thoughts. Sandy, thank you so much. Brooke, yes, multi-passionate. Okay, multitask. So multi-passionate is multitasking is a distraction, so they say. And it is, because it's that surveys have been like, once you pull yourself off track, it takes how much energy and time to get back. And I'm going to say that I have not mastered this, but I've been working on it my entire life. I am literally one that you'll learn more about me, but 34 years ago, I got into recovery, not got into, I was either live or die and got into recovery. And one of the first things this therapist asked me to do, to do one thing at a time, one thing. And she asked me to blow my hair dry and stay focused on blowing my hair dry. I still can't do it. I'm aware, I can pivot. But this morning, I'm blowing my hair dry, this little teeny hair right here. And the next thing I know, I'm standing at my computer. The next thing, I'm pouring a cup of coffee and my hair's still wet. I literally will go from the action I'm doing to full distraction. So that may seem silly to you, but that's how deep my distraction is. That's how embedded it is into me. So in that moment, when my head's going, so many things to do, I have that moment to be aware of, like, okay, truth. Is that do I need to do that right this moment? Can I have the power of my mindset and my physical body, all of it? Where's my energy at? Like, a lot of times we're already in our office while we're blowing a hair dry, and which is energetic bodies. Where are you at with your energetic bodies? Now, what that looks like is, what do you do to take care of your body? Not physical body, your energetic body. Now, for some of you, you're like, what the heck is she talking about? That could be massage. That could be energy healing work. I'm an energy healer. I do body work for a living with this type of work. And that's where you're tapping in to the expansive, we're connected with everything. Talking about distractions, so many of them are in our energetic field. So many of them are. Okay. So how does it get any better than that for you guys to look at your numbers, and which one, let me know, was your lowest? Please put in the chat. Which was your low? And how can we say that? Like, was living spaces the lowest? And then which one was your highest? So that I can make some notes, because that helps me teach more. Let me know what your highest was and your lowest. That would be awesome. Okay. Put it in the comments. All righty, so let me make sure I've talked about everything here that I want to. Okay, storage lowest, living space, car highest. Okay, car high. What are your energetic bodies, your mind, your thoughts? Where are those? I guess that's all good. Just good to know all of it. All of it. Low, living, work, highest, car. It's so cute. Everybody has a high car. That's exciting. High vibe on the car, everybody. Okay. So now that we're aware of that, if the high vibe is on the car, cool. What else can we go to with awareness that we can clean up that space, whether it's physically, energetically, that will keep us from being distracted? Okay. How about your mind, your thoughts, your energetic bodies? What were your numbers on that? Give me some numbers so that that'll help me. 9. Great. Diane just had bars work, energy work done with me yesterday. So she's high vibing, 8 to 9. Yay. Okay. These are clients who we work with. We do take care of our bodies and so forth. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you. Okay. So living space, energetic body, car, low storage. Okay. Energetic bodies, especially, I know your deal, Robin, here, you are in a you're in a position in your job right now where you are up a leveling. You are asking yourself, your business to create something higher. Okay. And probably one of the most important things you can do is to work on your energetic level. Where are you being sucked out at? We need to have a call because I literally know what's going on for you right now, battling the mind and the emotions. Absolutely. Okay. Oh, look at there's a little fun little thing in here. If you stay till the end of the 4 days or you listen to the recording, I'm going to offer a 1 hour class to some of you may have done this, but I believe you can do this class over and over with me, where we unlock your path to success with going through the words that are either destroying what you're creating or they are creating with your creation. And most of the words that we use are destroying what it is that we're creating. And this is one of my favorite classes I have taught over the years for free. I've taught it to large companies. It's been exciting to do that, men, women, but you will walk away with that. This is a free download you can get, so it will help you with that. But when you have me with you actually doing the energetic clearings, which is what I do is facilitate, we shift the energy in that class. So that is going to be and that's me really excited because you're all going to be there with me. Yay. All righty. Let's see. Take a breath. So much. So let's take a look at some of the most common personal distractions and energy leaks. Choosing to be unconscious. All righty. Some of you okay, let me do. If we know each other and we have worked together, you are in a state of choosing consciousness. You are choosing to be aware of what it is that you're aware of. So how does this tie into distractions? If you're not willing to be aware of what it is that you're actually aware of, but you don't want to be aware of it, because if you're aware of it, you're going to have to change it. That is what we're looking at. So if there's something to tap into right now, like anything, like you have a distraction, you have something you would label a distraction right now. Can you look at it and go, or share with me your top distraction, something that you might say is distracting you right now? Why don't you do that if somebody wants to play with that? What is distracting you? And then let's look at it and ask this question. Have awareness. My number 1A to your success is awareness. If you're willing to be aware of what it is, because most of us aren't willing to be aware of what it is. So then we like to say we're distracted. Okay. Dara's laughing at that one. Okay. And my work is not for everybody. I might lose you right here, some of you. It's because I'm not a strategy kind of person. I'm like, what's happening here? What is it that's there that you're not willing to look at? But if you were willing to, and you're willing to look at it today, you also don't have to change it. You can have allowance to, Dare, I see your hand. I don't know if I know how to unmute you when I'm
unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yeah. What you got real quick?
Okay. So I just had the total download. So I have just barely begun on the wealth side of my practice, the financial coaching side. And then my husband's come to me and he wants to do this other business. And so what I just became aware of is that I keep putting off, I keep putting off the addition to my business because now I have to go over here and get all this right to help him start his business. And this is all strategic in our retirement plan.
Right.
And so and then I had like a full circle, like the distraction is I'm pretending like I keep pretending like I don't have the money to do everything I want to do when I can go write a check for it right now. So I've got to pretend that. So that's that lack, my old lack that comes up, right? And then choosing to not make decisions because there's going to be 1,000 little decisions. Choosing to not make those decisions allows me to move unconscious when I'm totally aware that I'm just not choosing what I know I could be choosing and then be done with a lot of it. So yeah, I just had that. So I hope that was a contribution to somebody because
absolutely.
Yeah.
Love it. Thank you. And she tapped in. Dara and I have worked together for a very long time. So this is the key. When people say I'm distracted, or they come to me and they say, I don't have clarity. Okay. You don't. And that's okay. But we can find that. That's one of my gifts is with my intuitiveness is I literally can tap in very quick and see that for you and then show you how to do that. But it does take a lot of courage to be conscious. It really does. And I'm not ignoring that. But if you're looking for change and you're looking for something and something hasn't been working up until this point, it might be because you haven't been willing to look and get uncomfortable and out of the comfort zone. But I'm also reminding you, if you are willing to open it up, you don't have to change it right away. Okay. Just the awareness, 95% of awareness is recovery. That right there allows the space to go poof. And then your world is open to new possibilities. Okay. Putting others before yourself is literally, I could teach on this exclusively. Okay. I have spent years in Al-Anon codependency, which is part of my program. So I have mastered this in the sense that it is so easy. If you are not clear on what it is with your energetic priorities, oh my gosh, it's so, you all know that. I'm not, you guys all know that. You all know what it's like to be pulled off target. Okay. And that's not that it's going to be eliminated, but to be aware. I just talked to a client. She shared about it the other day, Michelle, and I was doing a bar session on her, energy session. And she had bought this course from me. She paid money for it. And she told me she couldn't come to the first call because she had to take her granddaughter to the store or something. And I stopped because I was like, wow, she didn't even realize that she had literally, out of habit, which is we're going to learn more about tomorrow, autopilot. It had not even dawned to her that she could tell her granddaughter that she would take her in an hour. She had literally been in such autopilot with her granddaughter that she loves and cares about that when her granddaughter said, I need to go somewhere, she took her. And it was like, she just shared on our call that it was like life-changing. She had never thought about that. She's 70 something. So there is hope for all of us, wherever we're at, that we get in these habitual habit things like, I didn't even think that was a possibility. And that was about learning to be conscious. She allowed me to throw that into her world. And then she chose herself. Our thoughts, we're going to continue to talk about those thoughts, those energetic distractors, which is why you'll all be invited if you choose to go further into the depths of what's here. But we will get through quite a bit. And procrastination. Okay. And I don't have any notes in front of me. I'm literally just going with the flow of what's here. So if there's anything that you have that you want to ask, throw it up in the chat. But how many of you label yourself or have been labeled as a procrastinator? Okay. I wish that, I think I'm seeing all of you guys. Okay. I would love for us right now, you're going to learn my step process number 2 to the 4 A's to success is allowance is your second one, is allowance. So for everywhere that you have been labeled or you've told yourself, judged yourself that you are a procrastinator, would you be willing to just allow that space? I'm not, and when you work with me privately, we actually clear that. And what I want you to become aware of today is what you've labeled procrastination actually the gift of how you create. There's no right or wrongs here. Okay. I was talking yesterday with Diane at the bars class, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't give myself enough time to do this webinar. I should have given myself a week and a half. And and I'm like all shitting all over myself, and then like later I come back and I went to them and I said, that is such a lie. I would never take a week and a half to create something. I create something in hours. Period. I have learned that works for me. That may not work for you because we all have different personality styles, but I've also am a recovering perfectionist, really, totally. Do it wrong, do it badly, do it anyway is my favorite thing. And that, wait a minute, I'm going to come back to the comments. So I'm just wanting you to look at, have you been unconscious about the labels that you're a procrastinator when yet somebody else's thought of you? And then you wonder why you're distracted. Okay, there was a lot in there. I don't know if any of that made sense, but hopefully some of it pinged around there. Is that maybe you are a procrastinator? Cool. Okay, and maybe you're not, but you've labeled yourself as that, because I could have labeled myself as a procrastinator. No, I create fast, I create quick. I don't like notes. I don't like to follow anything because I like to be in the present of the moment. Yes, I did have to put the slides together. Yes, that did take me about 6 hours to do that, 6 to 8, because I had never done it before. But that's the gift of who I am, is that I create on the whim. So I just threw that up there because a lot of people will say they're procrastinators. And then what happens is people will come to me with, I get lost in distractions and I'm a procrastinator. And then what are you focused on? The problem. I don't coach from the problem. I don't want to know the problem. I want to know what else is possible beyond that. And again, procrastination, all that doesn't even belong to you. Okay. So then we get all focused into how do we fix this? We're not here to fix. We're here to become aware of what it is that you're doing, what it is that you're choosing, what it is that you're conscious of, and what you're not conscious of. And number 2 will be allowance, and we'll talk more about that tomorrow. But these distractions are keeping you from the most important things in your life. Unconsciousness will keep you from everything. And unconsciousness can look like so many different things. It can look like where you're just not willing to look. Okay. And then there's other levels of unconsciousness of drugs, alcohol, food addictions, like checking out, how many, all that. I mean, there's so many levels I could go into all of these. Putting others before yourself. These are the things you're going to look at the next 24 hours. What are your thoughts? Are they even yours? And if there's a ton of them in there, we're going to learn. I don't know if we're going to learn all of that in 4 days, but that's one of the things I teach, and you will learn more, is how to have only one committee member in your head at one time. And is your procrastination something you can work on, or is it actually the gift of how you create? Okay, let me go back and just read a couple comments here. Robin said she loved that example. Sometimes. Brooke says, I have labeled myself a master of creative avoidance. Okay, and that is, let me look at the energy of that. Do you like that label, Brooke?
Well, I responded to myself saying that's just a fancy way of labeling myself as a procrastinator.
Okay. Oh, I see your other comment. Okay. So let me read okay. I've labeled myself as a master of creative avoidance. Okay. So she has that. Then she goes, which is a fancy way of labeling myself as a procrastinator. Okay. With a little hand up there. So energetic self-mastery, energetic awareness work is what she has done with that. Thank you for the example, is you've just set yourself in just a ton shit of judgment. Okay, when we judge ourselves, which is what we go to automatically because we live in a reality that's either right or wrong. And so you're wrong because you're a procrastinator. So now it's a problem. Okay, see how that just all, so like distractors, if you've labeled yourself or have this particular distraction, number one, it may not be something you're even supposed to be doing. You haven't even asked if that's going to create something greater for you. Or what if you're a procrastinator? How about if we switch it and we put it into a question? Because that's going to be number 3 of my four steps, my 4 processes to success is to ask. Okay, truth. I am a procrastinator for myself. What is that? What does that look like for me? Do I want to outcreate that? Do I want that label? Or do I actually do something different? My guess is, Brooke, you do something different. You are running 2 businesses, 4 kids. That is a woman, in my point of view, and I know how to work with you, that procrastinator is a very interesting word that you even have in your world. Truth, does that even belong to you?
No.
Okay. Okay. And here's the other thing with energy work, we don't need to know who it belongs to. She probably has an idea, but we don't need to know that. We just go, thank you for that very much. Wherever I got implanted from that, wherever I bought that freaking lie, and to go, okay, cool. What am I? Who do I need to be in order to overcome whatever you've decided that you need to overcome? I don't know if that was a right question. But it would be the question either I am, okay, cool. Now what else can I do with that? Or if I'm not that, what am I? What am I? What is so grand and glorious about me and the way that I create? And I know that's foreign for a lot of people of like, I took you from procrastinator to like, what is so wonderful and fabulous and grand about me? But that's where I want you to be. I want you to get out of judgment. Again, a topic I could talk, that's what got me to everywhere was, and a lot of us use judgment to create. Again, not a topic, but it is a topic. A lot of us create our life, our livings, and our business from how we judge ourselves. If we judge ourselves harsh enough, brutally enough, we usually create something from that. That's called an energetic distractor. That's not a distraction. That's the energetic addiction. Okay. Again, there's so many things I'm throwing in here, but we'll try and open that up over the next 4 days. That's a true energetic addiction. When I put this class out, I actually created a topic that said addicted to distractions, because you're actually addicted to your distractions. Did you know that? You're addicted to them. You wouldn't have them if they didn't work. Even though they don't work, they're still working because they're creating something. Okay. So how about if it's like, oh, so cool. That's an addiction. That judgment was an addiction for me, that it kept me creating. Okay. And I needed to watch the time. But so here we are. Awareness is the number 1 of my 4 A's to your success is, are you willing to be aware? Some of you work with me, and so awareness is something that you just continue to become more of, not unconscious, but like, what am I aware of here? And then I think I wrote the question here was, awareness, have you always known that something else is possible and that you're meant for greater things, but you don't know where to look to find it? It's in your awareness. Okay. And your awareness is like awareness is what most of us have learned not to have. Okay. And then there's a lot of us that are empathic, psychic, intuitive, and we may know that. We may have used that to our ability our whole lives, or some of us where we're just tapping into it and we're like, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed with everything. When you're overwhelmed with so many things, most of that, 98% of that overwhelm is not yours. But until you're willing to be aware that it's not yours, you can't change it. There are people who love overwhelm. And you know them, and they're like, there's just so much chaos, drama, trauma. But that's what creates in their life. There's no right or wrong with it. But which one are you choosing? And if there's one and you don't know how to, you want something more, are you willing to be aware of what it is that's keeping you from choosing out of that unconsciousness? So did I have a little something else here? Oh yeah, just on the bottom. That was awareness is the first one. And we did talk a little bit about allowance today, and we'll talk more about allowance tomorrow. That's not acceptance, it's allowance. So look at us, right on time. Which I didn't plan because I just go by the flow of the seat of my pants. I didn't know anything. And so thank you for just me allowing the energy to flow and hoping that by me speaking, you got some contribution from it. And over in this little corner over here on the top of the paper, it says the end of day 1, tomorrow, again, Wednesday, the 22nd, 12 o'clock. But what I need from you right now is your awareness wins. Please, in your comments in the chat, would you take a second and share with me and everybody else what you're walking away with? I know I just blew you with a lot, but just like maybe the top thing of what you are awareness with. And I like to say the word awareness wins, not like your golden nuggets. We used to say that a lot. It's your awareness wins. And it's not, I don't choose to use like, what's the other one that we'll often say? Something to the effect of like, what did you do right? This is not a right. What is your awareness? There's another word for it. The gift, I love this example too. Me too, and recovery from that as well. This is from Robin. I love that some people coach in problem and don't like that. It makes you feel bad. Yes. And sometimes we just need that type of coaching. And sometimes, it is what it is. Let me take off the screen so I can see your faces again. Sandy is the gift of how we create. Absolutely. Yeah, there's so much to be said about that. When you start to master your own energy and who you are and how you be, which is a process, life is so much easier. The different energy leaks. Okay, very cool. Thank you for that, Robin. Look around for those today. And every time you go to judge yourself, just be aware of the energy leak. Your judgment might help you actually clean up that leak. Okay, that's how judgment works. But I don't want to say but don't. Be aware of if you're judging yourself that you are bad, or would you judge yourself to outcreate that space where it's leaking? And distractors are my addiction. Yeah, baby, they absolutely are. And I have a list of all the distractors. And then, addictive distractors. And then within distractors, which we are not going to go into, there's actually 24 distractors that literally we live our lives by, and they're all energetic, and we're tapping into them. And Dara is, I'm aware I can move forward in my new branch of business while assisting my husband to create his from scratch. And also, I am not a procrastinator in reality. I can create amazing things quickly and on the fly. Great. I'm glad that, again, I had no notes, but when I saw that procrastinator, I was like, wow, I wonder how many people are lit up with that word. I don't even use that word. I don't know why I even put it on there. Have you ever heard me say the word procrastinator? I don't think I've ever said that, So again, I follow the energy with my intuitive, ness that I be, which is the gift of me, but you all have your gifts that we're going to learn more about. Yeah, that you can tap into that word. My awareness said talk more about that word. Okay, ladies. Well, it's 1 o'clock sharp. We did it. And you are welcome, Karen. And go have fun today. And people can still join if you want to send a link. And thank you for spending this precious hour with me. It does mean a lot. So, what grand and glorious adventures can you have today while being aware of your distractors? Bye.